Good.
No. I just started it because I'm gonna pull up the slide.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's about to start anyway, so I'm gonna have my seat.
No. Okay, before we start the meeting, you're gonna see this lovely screen right here. And you're going to open your phone and you can either take a picture of this and get into the slides, because we're gonna ask you questions, you're gonna be able to answer. Or you can type this in your webpage and it will, and put it, make sure, and you can get in and get all set up.
So this is our interactive meeting.
We're gonna do an interactive.
Do we have anybody that decided to do Zoom?
No, I haven't had anybody pop in,
Okay.
but I did Zoom it, so it'll be recorded.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, there are some people who may struggle, so we try to. Are you?
Is that it?
Yes.
I can leave my phone to you. You don't have two phones.
I try to do these at home, they never work. I pick the thing up. I get the cord out of the way, I pointed at the thing.
Well, that's why I also put the webpage up there, so you can type the webpage.
Somebody got that? Thank you.
Yes.
I'll be here all week, but I'm,
Phone on the wall.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but we're catching up with the times. We got like a 10-foot cord,
Oh, nice.
so I can go in the other room and shut the door.
Sitting in the closet.
He's listening to me.
Yeah, it's already.
I ride on the roads. I don't just sit at all.
Yeah, my stepbrother, you know, because I'm in the thing trying to talk to somebody, my stepbrother hangs. Or picks up the other extension, get him listen.
Breathing.
They're breathing.
Get off
Yeah.
the phone.
You can hear the breathing.
Nobody else went through that, nobody, okay.
All right. Is everybody able to log in? Does anybody need some assistance? Is everything good?
Only one person's
Right, there we go.
It says you've already answered this question.
there.
We go, please wait for the presenter to show the stuff.
Yeah, you can't whisper through this, we see
Okay.
instantaneously who does what.
So good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming tonight. We are happy that everybody came. This is amazing, and we really want to share Clean and Beautiful with you, and we want to explain that and have some input. So thank you very much. And this is interactive, so I'll ask a couple of questions, and whenever those come up, then we will ask you to basically punch that in on your phone, and we'll be able to go from there. So Clean and Beautiful, this is with the New Mexico Tourism Department, and it's Litter Control and Beautification Act to end littering, improve recycling, and beautify New Mexico communities. And that is the gist and in a nutshell of what Clean and Beautiful is. So what we're going to talk about tonight is what is Clean and Beautiful. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. We're going to go through Clean and Beautiful's goals, because they do have goals. And with those goals, we need to follow those in the grant. We're going to talk about ineligible expenditures and who and how. So who is this grant for and how do we execute this grant? And then we'll just do a quick summary on it. Next. Okay, so just as a test question to kind of get it rolling with the interactiveness, where do you live? And you actually have options on this one. And keep in mind that whenever you do answer these, then the information is collected. So then later on, I can go back and I can see your answers. And then I can kind of collect some of that data and we can go back through it. And we will have another meeting that's going to be announced later on. And we will be able to be more specific as to where we want to go with this and what the city wants to see done with Clean and Beautiful. But we wanted to be able to explain exactly what it is first. Did everybody get their answers in? Did it work?
Those
Okay,
who just came in, their website's at the top.
next one. Okay, so what do you think a grant is? And there's a couple of answers up there that you can choose from. We got a bunch of smarties in here.
Move our soundtrack on that.
We do. Okay, so yes, money for a specific project. So the grant is written in a very specific way. And you cannot veer away from XYZ in your grant. And I was talking to a coworker today and they explained it as XYZ. And I actually really appreciate that explanation because it is very specific. And veering away from that is rather difficult to do. And so we want to make a plan and we want to stick with that plan. And that's a huge part of projects. Next one. Okay, so New Mexico Clean and Beautiful Grant. The tourism department partners with communities to keep New Mexico true by providing funding and technical assistance to municipalities, counties, tribal governments, and units of government on litter eradication, waste reduction, and community beautification initiatives. So what does that mean? The picture that you can see right there, that is a couple of FFA students. They are cleaning up the cemetery before Memorial Day. That's one of our organizations that we've had in the past that they volunteer, and through the Clean and Beautiful grant, we're able to, with Clean and Beautiful funds, give to that organization so that they can expand on their organization for their work that they've done in cleaning up the community. Next one. What does Clean and Beautiful look like to you? Now you get to make your own answers on this one. No trash. Helping fund school gardens. Yes, we do that as well. We have created worm gardens and we have given composters and we've helped with raised garden beds. We've helped with school gardens and to help them flourish. And we're very proud of that. And the students are involved in that. And they very much do enjoy that, even though they are worms. They like it. Making Portales look nice, a nice place for families to play, clean storefront and sidewalks. Yes, all of those are true. The community beautifying itself. Absolutely. Providing cleaner and more appealing public spaces to better the quality of life for the city. That's a good one. Beautifying downtown, cleaning and landscaping. Now, you're going to find on the expenditures that are ineligible, yes, landscaping is possible. However, it has to be done by community members. This cannot be done by a professional landscaping company. Clean and Beautiful does not provide funding for professional landscaping companies because this is a community-driven grant. So it is for the people and it is by the people. Safe space for recreation. No burned out, dilapidated buildings. So that one's a little bit tricky. Whenever we do clean out spaces, we need to own the spaces. So when it comes to, what are they called? Dangerous properties and whatnot, we cannot use Clean and Beautiful to clean those, the funds to clean those. Can we use community help for those? That's actually a question for Kelly or Mr. Mitten. I'm not positive. That's not one for me to answer, but we cannot use the funding from Clean and Beautiful for that because we don't own those buildings. Is that all of them? Can a local company volunteer as a community member to help clean the town? A local company? Yes. Is there a question in that?
Probably. I think this would be one that we would have to take, true story. I think we'd have to take this if the company wants to volunteer as a company. It's normally a for-profit company. This is what I think. I don't know for sure. I think that we would have to take that for legal review and have to get some kind of a contract with the company saying that yea, verily, we're doing this of our own accord and volunteering to do this with no strings attached and no expectations later. Because of cases in the past where other things have come up, they kind of seem to have strings attached and stuff. So I think so is the answer. We'd have to do some more research. The way it's written, the volunteerism and stuff on the Clean and Beautiful, usually at service level, is the yous and the me's go and we volunteer and we do stuff to get it done like that. As far as the business goes, I'm not sure. Probably, but I'm not sure. Nothing's easy with these things. Yeah.
And whenever we do volunteer things, we do need to have people sign forms, liability type of things. So, and those are all legalities and whatnot. So that is a very fair answer. Now, something that we should also note with Clean and Beautiful, for fiscal year 25-26, we got $7,587.50 awarded to us. In fiscal year 24-25, we received $15,933. In fiscal year 23-24, it was $15,275. And in fiscal year 21, I kind of went backwards a little bit. We got $5,072.32. So we go a little bit up and down depending on the projects that we're choosing and what is eligible and what is not eligible.
Yeah, and so I looked up some numbers and things like that too, on my own research, looking at this. And Joe's numbers are on point, but let me give you some comparative and comparison and contrast. So Carlsbad, pretty good sized city, $19,487. So when we hit the mark at like 15,900, we're in the ballpark with some of the bigger towns. Hobbs, larger than us. Farmington, I think arguably larger than us. Farmington, 17,000, Hobbs, 19,000, Tucumcari, 9,000, Rio Rancho, very large, 25,000. So we're in the ballpark. Portales is doing good. The reality on the Clean and Beautiful grant is I think there's $900,000 for 53 eligible cities, if I'm not mistaken. So there's really not that much to go around. It's not a big grant, but it is worth pursuing. And, the town hall is lovely because we want you to understand, one, we're going to do this with all the grants that we have, what are called NOFOs, Notice of Funding Opportunities. So we're gonna hold town halls like this so that up front, we can talk about the left and right limits. What these grants are for, what they're capable of doing, what they're not capable of doing, and the financial realistic expectations of what we can get from these type of grants. I feel personally it's important that we all learn this kind of stuff together. Because very often when we secure a grant and we let people know that we were awarded a grant and so on, we immediately start getting feedback like, great, why didn't you use the clean and beautiful to build a volcano? Well, volcanoes aren't on the list, okay? Why didn't you use it to make a new school? Schools aren't on the list, right? When the grantors decide that they're gonna let these things, they give us the rules on what we can pursue and what we can do with those, and those are, pretty finite. And we want you to understand those things. And after understanding it, we want you to understand realistic expectations. Like, why didn't you get $500,000 from Clean and Beautiful? Well, it's just not there. It's more around the $20,000 realm. That's, if we got 15 before, we really want to push hard to break into 20. And if we can start hitting the ballpark in 20, we want to start looking for about 25. But 25 is going to be about the realistic max that we're ever going to get for Clean and Beautiful, unless it really goes above and beyond. But that's a pretty good target, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. Then I think we'll be kind of on a level plane from there. But we just want people to understand the limits on these things, the capabilities, the things you can't do. And then we're going to ask you for more input, like, okay, we're going to pursue this. What do we think we want to do? Now, Joe's going to talk about things we've done in the past, and this is a repeat grant. It's going to come up pretty much every year until someone decides it goes away. So we will probably have some repeat customers that have depended on some of this grant money. But we want some new and fresh ideas too, because I really want to get to that $20,000, $25,000 threshold, maximize this thing. Going forward, you'll hear me say the same thing about bigger grants and different grants. But it's super important for us to let you know, and so you can be our advocates, right? You learn by this. When people come, why didn't they make a new heliport? Well, heliports aren't in that grant. When a heliport grant comes, they'll do that. But we want you to understand this and be our advocate as well, so we can kind of inform everybody through several voices and several sets of eyes. Does that make sense?
So how much did we get, the 7,000?
Yes, ma'am. We got $7,587.50 this past fiscal year. And we want to optimize, like Mr. Mitten is saying, we want to optimize our funding the best that we possibly can, so we want to come up with what is going to benefit our community in a very positive way, but also things that can be carried out. We don't want to come up with grand plans that can't fully be carried out. We need to be realistic about it all too. And sometimes it's going to take some steps. So maybe one year we do something smaller and then we build on it. And the next year we can do it a little bit bigger. Next slide, please. So Clean and Beautiful has goals, and their goals are end littering, reduce waste, beautify communities, empower youth, and increase program capacity. Now, increase program capacity, from my understanding, is a newer goal. And if we go to the next one, to kind of get into those a little bit deeper, in littering, those things are prevent littering. So we want to think about how can we prevent the littering? We don't want to just, scream at people. Why are you littering? Don't litter. We want to come up with ideas, prevent littering, provide access to proper waste disposal. How can we do that? Recover litter. So in that aspect, we have purchased garbage cans for parks. We've done alleyway cleanups before. We have done dumpster in a bag before, where we have asked citizens to pick up a dumpster in a bag and clean up their property and then put it into the bag. And then the city would come and pick it up once it was full. And when it comes to reduce waste, it's reuse, repair, repurpose, improve composting and sustainable organics, improve recycling and sustainable materials. So we've done the worm gardens with the elementary kids. And a lot of times, if you start young and then you build as they get older, then that really helps to carry that throughout a lot of the years. And then you can beautify longer. and they can learn how to grow things. They can learn how to repurpose and how to reuse and what that actually means. And so then in the generations further, we're still doing that. And those are really positive things for Clean and Beautiful. Beautify communities, improve green spaces through sustainable park design, maximize sustainable landscaping throughout communities. With improved green spaces, we've gotten picnic tables before. Now, these items that we are purchasing, like trash cans and picnic tables, they have to be 100% recycled material. They cannot be, metal picnic tables and whatnot. They do have to be 100% recycled material. Maximize sustainable landscaping throughout communities. We have purchased saplings before, and we've grown those, and we have tried planting those before. That was a new and tried event that we did. Prevent graffiti, eradicate graffiti. Now, we have also done that on our dumpsters. So we painted our dumpsters so that we could get rid of the bad graffiti. But we've also encouraged that if you wanted to paint something good on the dumpsters, that you could do that as well as you're painting over the not so great things that have been written on the dumpsters before. Empower youth, educate students, provide service opportunities for youth groups, employ youth interns, provide youth leadership opportunities. So this is where we have used youth organizations to help clean up spaces, but we are able to compensate through Clean and Beautiful by donating to their organization. And a lot of the organizations around here, they do need that. They need that monetary donation from Clean and Beautiful. And that really helps them out. It helps them to go to their trips. It helps them to purchase uniforms, stuff like that. Those are good things for them. Increase program capacity, recruit and engage volunteers, build coalitions through professional affiliations, increase knowledge through professional development, recruit and engage volunteers. So because this is a community driven and volunteer type of grant, we really need to bring the volunteers around because, like we said, to use our funds to the capacity that we actually can, we have to have the volunteers to do it. We have to carry it out. And so that's a big part of Clean and Beautiful. Next one, please. So this is, one of the dumpsters that we have painted before, getting rid of some of the graffiti. We put some primer on there, and then we cover it up with some other kinds of paint, trying to make the dumpsters look a little bit better. And it is community driven. That is a volunteer that you see. Next one. And now what you see on that picture, that is a group of students, and they are planting their gardens. They're growing in their school. That is in I want to say the recess area. It's behind the school in their community garden. And those kids love it. They're so excited. And then the moment that they pull one of those vegetables out that they grew themselves, they will literally just bite into it. And they're so happy. They're like, I grew this. And then they eat it. They're so happy. But ineligible expenditures are benches and tables made from non-recycled material, disinfectant wipes, disinfectants, air freshener, and I don't have to read through the entire thing. But as you can see, there are several things that we cannot purchase with Clean and Beautiful. I'll give you a minute to kind of look through that, but there are still a lot of things that we can purchase. And see, playground equipment is one of them. Yes, that does beautify, but it's still equipment, so we cannot purchase it through Clean and Beautiful. Labor, with the exception of youth subcontractors. Landscaping fabric, landscaping pavers, they're very specific, landscaping rock. But you can purchase things like flowers and garden beds and soil, that type of thing, so that we can create some greenscapes. Next one, please. So who and how? Communities, volunteers, ideas, working together, consistency, innovative, and creative. We really do need to be innovative and creative. but I mean, you really have to be that way whenever you're trying to clean up your city anyway. What other communities have done? They've done fix-it clinics. So other communities have volunteers that have decided to bring in or invite in broken bicycles, and they teach people how to repair their bicycles. That has been their fix-it clinic, that type of thing. Tool libraries, so people can borrow tools and then they can go fix things and then bring those tools back. Murals on city-owned property. And whenever we do murals, we do have to own the buildings or the fences or what it is that we're painting. We do have to own those. The city has to own those. Community gardens, community compost, planting trees, turning old wine barrels into trash cans, and building public spaces. So building public spaces means that if you like an educational outdoor space. So let's say we had a space that we could turn in for the library. Let's say that there was a space for them, and Clean and Beautiful could help to make that into a green space, into a learning space. They couldn't do the entire thing, but they could definitely help, and that would be actually a really good expenditure and helpful for the community. Next one, please. What would you like to see with Clean and Beautiful funding? Did y'all jump ahead?
Yes.
Providing cleaner and more appealing public spaces to better the quality of life for the city. No trash. Does anybody have more? With this grant, we do have a match requirement. It is a 25% match requirement. This can also be done in kind. So that means on what we do currently, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we have free convenience center days. So whenever those that don't have a water bill or whatnot in the city and they need to use the convenience center on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it is free for them. So that's one of our in-kind that we use with Clean and Beautiful to go with our 25% match. Anybody else? Oh, more native plants in public areas, including roads and parks. Okay. I like that idea.
That comes under, it's a pollinator garden probably.
Mm-hmm.
So other communities have sought grants for pollinator gardens that are usually native plants that are selected that will bloom or blossom throughout the entire year, so that pollinators have a place to go all year round to spread pollen. They're pretty popular with these Clean and Beautiful grants, so that probably falls under that, under the already been done, probably easy to do category type of thing. So kudos, good job.
So that also means that whenever we have that kind of a day come around and then you see that it's advertised that they come out and help us plant these or come out and help us create this space or whatnot, please do. We require the volunteers and we love to see everybody that wants to help out. Next one. So in summary, expand the program initiatives, enhance beautification and recycling, explore creativity and education. That is what Clean and Beautiful is about. And that pretty much summarizes the entire thing. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Just a quick one. When it comes to new trash cans, and those are fantastic, is it on the schedule for Parks and Rec to empty those? I know there was an issue when Main Street had trash cans and they weren't necessarily getting dumped and that sort of thing. And I'm not suggesting we increase the burden on what they're already doing, but is there a plan in place for those if they're already purchased?
There is a plan in place for those. They will go to a couple of different parks that we have. And the Parks and Rec, they do empty those. Yes. Schedule wise, I'm not sure what their schedule is as to when they dump them.
And I don't necessarily need specifics, but again, the concern was adding to what they're already doing. Or is there a need for outside system?
Oh. I believe that might be a Mr. Mitten question.
Yeah, well, they haven't been out there for a while, so to tell you the truth, I don't know. If we put trash cans out that we own, then when they fill up, we empty them. I mean, that's the responsibility on that, so I'd have to get back with you on how we would approach that and how we do it. But right now, I don't know.
Thank you.
I have a question. So when we come up with ideas for this and we decide to apply, do we apply for one thing? Or if there's 6 good ideas that if we decide would be for the betterment of the city, do 6 things go on the grant? How does that work?
Okay, so we can do multiple different things.
Okay,
We don't have to do just one thing. Whenever it comes to all those initiatives, we want to see where those goals, where it lands within those goals.
Okay.
And then we can do multiple different goals.
all right.
Does that answer the question or more specific?
No, I think it's good. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have to select just one thing a year.
Okay, yes, we can go with all of the goals and we can fill them up. We just want to be realistic about completing them.
So we could do like we could do some educational program that's ongoing or one time. And then we could do something that, we could build a butterfly garden or a pollinator garden. And we
Absolutely.
could also have a waste pickup event throughout the year or multiple, and then we could increase trash cans. We could put all that into one like clean and beautiful plan
Yes,
and then get the grant to support that plan for the year.
yes, we can.
Okay, and is it let just one time a year?
That the grant cycle happens? Yes, so the grant cycle is from March until April. Well, that's whenever it opens in March, it ends in April. Okay, and then it goes from July to June. So July 25th till June 26th. 2026. July 2025 to June 2026. Any other questions? Okay, so if you look at the screen right now, this is Breaking Bad Habits. So Clean and Beautiful has partnered with Breaking Bad Habits. And this is a website where you can go and you can register, you can take their pledge, but you can also see where other communities are doing events. They do cleanup events, they do that type of thing. And whenever we do our cleanup event, then we would let Clean and Beautiful know. And then they say, you know, how it is that we can do everything, yes or no on our boundaries and whatnot. And then we can post it onto this site. And then whomever would like to come and join our cleanup event can do that because they'll find it on this site. And you all can all look at that site and also see what other communities have done.
So a few months ago, the community, I think it was Methodist Church, but they hosted the Mayor Jackson or something cleanup walk. Someone help me.
Didn't JP Stone do that?
Was it JP
Yes,
Stones?
for
Okay.
the
well,
Ron
Used to
cleanup.
work there or something?
Okay,
Yes.
so like they could have, that could have been an event if it was wrapped up in the beginning, maybe.
Yes.
So people know they're gonna do those kind of things, or they're thinking about doing that kind of thing in the future. They could get with you
Yes.
and say, hey, we're gonna do then it couldn't be a JP Stone event, or maybe it could, I don't know. But they're saying, they could say, hey, we wanna do this benefit,
Mhm.
maybe not benefit, I don't know. But they could say, we wanna get together and volunteer to go through town and pick up trash, which would come under the improve or remove/recover litter
Mhm.
program. And if there's awards or something, or recognition, or trash bags, or something to do that, this could help fund that.
Yes.
So it'd be like a sponsorship?
Not so much a sponsorship, and the way that the language that we would use would have to be passed through New Mexico Tourism first, and then I would be able to post that. So in all honesty, I can't say how it would be worded until I would talk with them first.
But there might be things the grant could help facilitate.
Yes.
For something like that, okay. And there's 5 goals, right?
Yes.
End littering, reduce waste, beautify communities, empower youth, that's a big deal there, and increase program capacity.
Mhm.
Well, town halls team are designed by nature to solicit, some feedback and some interaction there. So I mean, the floor is ours. If anybody would like to ask questions, comment, artistic dance, finger shadow, yes, anything like that. And I would love it if people kind of, we need to break the ice at some point, right? We do get a lot of questions. Why didn't you build a new school? Because it's not what this is for, and things like that, and we can't with this type of thing, and we want folks to learn. And as we go, we want to learn about grants, funding opportunities, municipal finances and all that. So you can be that thing I talked about before, advocate, and you can understand, and you can help other people understand. And then, because knowledge is power, and the more that we get, the more powerful we're going to be as a community. And we really want to do that. And if you wouldn't mind bearing with me just for a second, I wanted to talk, actually, I wanted to read to you about what a town hall meeting is for, and specifically a town hall this designed for a specific topic. But it's, if you don't mind, would you entertain me with, okay, cool. It's held to ensure the community clearly understands the opportunity for that specificity and how it will be used. The main purposes of a city's town hall, it's a subject matter oriented town hall. In this case, a grant is to explain that specific grant, describe what the grant is, who's funding it, its goals, its allowable uses, its timelines, any conditions or requirements that are attached to the grant. It's to clarify eligibility and participation. It's to inform residents, organizations, or businesses who can apply for or benefit from the grant and what steps they must take to participate. It's to outline how funds will be allocated and managed. It's to explain how decisions will be made. It will help define who oversees the grant and how the accountability and reporting of the grant will work. It's to inform people of how it's aligned with community and community needs. It's to show how the grant supports local priorities and invite input from the public to ensure that funding addresses real community concerns. It's to answer questions and reduce confusion. It's to provide a forum for questions so misunderstandings about the grant purpose, rules, or impact are addressed early on. It's to encourage engagement and buy-in from the public, build public support and participation by demonstrating transparency and encouraging collaboration. It's to meet transparency or compliance requirements that some grants require, and some of them require public notification or consultation, and a town hall can fulfill these obligations. In essence, the purpose of such a town hall meeting as this is to inform, engage, and prepare the community to effectively use and benefit from the grant while ensuring transparency and accountability. And we're not only planning on doing this for the Clean and Beautiful grant, but really all the funding opportunities that come through as grants, so that the public understands early on. We still have a lot of work to do to get this shaped up and submitted and all that, but we want you folks to understand it as early as possible, so you can go back home, think about it, and when you're driving down the street or doing whatever, go, oh my gosh, I wonder if that can be done with that Clean and Beautiful grant, and then give us some feedback, because honestly, it's not easy. It's almost impossible for us to do it ourselves. When I came into town and I looked around the parks, I think the parks are great, but I asked Joe, I was like, who picked the color for the parks? And she said, I did. I'm paraphrasing. And I said, well, oh gosh, why did you pick that color? She said, because nobody gave me any feedback. I waited till the last possible minute, and at the last minute on the last day of the last month, I had to pick a color, so I just went there and said, that sounds good, and I picked it. Because if you don't pick it, you miss out on the grant, right? And then you pick, I'm telling you, I know she lives not lonely as in she's really lonely, but it's lonely when you're like, I gotta pick the color, and people are gonna come up and go, why did you pick that color? I hate that combination, or whatever it's gonna be. Someone had to do it, and she does. And so we really want to save Joe, right? We want to, as a community, help pick the colors. So folks don't have to bear that burden of, pink and lime green. For the amphitheater going forward in the future, stuff like that. But yeah, a community help that makes decisions together will function better together. We function better together. And more of this stuff will happen. It will get better. We're not bad now. As you see, when you look at the metrics, a couple of years we hit 7,000, but a couple of years we hit over 17,000. That's a pretty good, actually, it's a pretty high bar for a town of 13,000, for a city of 13,000 people. $16,000 on a small grant like this, when a larger community, Rio Rancho is only, how much bigger than us, don't need an answer, but the grant was only 5 or 6 or 7,000 more. We're doing pretty good hitting these milestones, so we plan on maxing these types of things out, and we're gonna do it with your help, and we're gonna pick the right colors, because you're gonna help us do that. And Joe doesn't have to go home and bear that burden of selecting the colors that people are gonna ask her why in the future and so on. So
Well,
that's why, go ahead.
it also helps people in City Hall. So I'm not running into their offices and going, okay, this is the last day that I have. Colors. What do you think?
Because that's really what happens.
That is really what happens.
That's exactly what happens.
What doesn't fade in the sun horribly? And what looks good still?
Yeah, and we literally do stuff because we don't have any input, right? And we want it.
Yeah.
And we do stuff like what colors deflect the heat better and what help when it's cold, because we get hot
Right.
and cold.
Exactly.
What color combinations, like gray and dark
Yeah.
gray?
Well, and
There
we
you go.
have a lot of dirt. So then do we want this color? But then do we want that color? Is it gonna blend into everything? What do we? I mean, it seems silly because it's a color, but it's gonna be there for a long time. And you want to take pride in that. And the community wants to take pride in that. So please, we want your input. And it's important because it will be there for a long time. And the cleanliness of the town will be there for a long time. And what we implement into everything will continue on, hopefully. Habits, all those things, like that website, Breaking Bad Habits. We're working on it. Let's do it together. And that's a big issue.
Sure. And there's a certain element of buy-in too, right? You pick the colors or the theme for the park or the butterfly garden or the pollinator garden, and it goes up. And then you drive by, you walk by, you ride your bicycle by, whatever you do. There's that, I did that. I mean, whether it's one of us or whether it's 100 of us together, that used to be a burned out building. And somehow the city came to own it. We don't know what to do with it. We decided, hey, let's take 20K from the Clean and Beautiful grant thing. I might be out of my lane, I don't know, but if we own it, we built a pollinator garden there, and then we go by and we see a group of preschoolers out there, putting square pegs in round holes or whatever. There's that, I did that
Right.
thing, and I'm looking forward to those kind of days. So appreciate your help there.
Convenience center. Can y'all see the signs and read them now when you go to the convenience center? The rules, the signs, the fact that the building has a sign on it that says convenience center, that was Clean and Beautiful. They funded that. So now we can all read the signs in English and in Spanish.
I can't read Spanish. I'm very well.
Well, let me try harder.
And this branch is also helping with straightening up signs, right? As well around town, like road signs and fixing them and whatnot.
I don't know, it might, but I don't.
I'll have to ask that question. I don't know the answer to that.
So the question, just so you know, this grant can help with straightening up the street signs and things. I don't know. I don't know.
We can't buy the hardware.
Yeah,
They might, and this is a might, help fund the supplies. I would have to ask. Thank you for that question. I will ask.
Yeah, I'm looking down through the 5 core goals. It's not jumping out at me that we could do that, but maybe.
could we also possibly paint the streets, like, not just like we make the crosswalk a little bit more attractive? You know what?
Yeah, we can't do that with this one though.
No,
No.
Yeah, these are great questions, and unfortunately, you're getting no's, right? And I don't mean this like oh, hey, there's no silly question, go ahead and ask away, and you get no. But it's important to learn our left and right limits of what we can do and what we can't do. So painting like signs and because I kind of know where you're going, I definitely know where you're going. We want to paint more parking signs, we want to paint more crosswalk signs,
Mhm.
that's gonna be a no on this one. But let me tell you what you can do, right? If you wanted a mural, like the town decided, hey, we want a mural, I'm gonna go, this is a stretch, this is a huge stretch, big stretch. I'm on record saying this is a big stretch, okay? But let's say we really, really, as a community, we really wanted a mural on the water tower, okay? We might have to, that's gonna be a heavy lift and it's gonna be a lot of money to paint the water tower. But maybe we paint the water tower, but we can get some community involvement and we would fund painting a mural on the water tower. That is where it says Portales in black on that green thing. Maybe it does the Portales kind of logo, the sun, you know, and whatnot. That would be doable. Why is it doable? Because several communities have already done water tank murals, so that would be an easy win, you know. Painting a, whatever it is, 80 foot or 150 foot tower, probably outside the boundaries for the financial piece, but the mural itself would be well within that kind of thing.
Yes.
I was talking about bus walks, and I was thinking about videos that I've seen where people have contributed and communities have contributed to painting intersections to make it look a little bit more vibrant and also safer in a way for people to walk across this intersection, so that so that cars can see the
Oh.
right colors and slow down a little bit.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're talking about like the green lane or the like a blue lane or something like that, just a different
Like,
color
the
to offset.
Basically,
Okay,
yeah. And like paint like a flower mural in the middle of the intersection or something like that.
not sure where that would fall.
Technically, the road is city owned.
It is,
Maybe-
but under
maybe
what
it's not.
goal would that be in?
I mean, it's worth an ask.
It
I don't
is,
see it jumping out at me beyond.
it is.
I see it jumping out as mural, maybe, you know, but you know, that would be worth an ask. That we don't want to stifle any thoughts or anything like that.
We'll ask.
I don't see it jumping out.
I'll send out emails tomorrow and find out.
Now, murals on city owned, I have seen these kind of things. I don't think we have any, but I've seen municipalities that have like, I don't know what they're called, but like concrete boxes at intersections and things, and the city owned it. I've seen lots of murals on those types of things.
Yeah.
That would be a, yeah. Painting on the street, I don't know.
Like the electrical boxes.
Mhm.
I think if the city owns them, yeah. If, what's our power company around here?
Excel.
Excel or something, I don't think that'd be a go, but. Yeah, city has some.
Mhm.
And you guys were talking about trash cans, what about possible recycling bins? Is it possible to get that, or would someone have to volunteer to take care of the recycling material?
Well, I mean, I think that's on an over, you've got a couple questions in there. I think recycling bins, okay, if we had a recycling program, when I look at provide or remove and recover litter. I think that would probably get a go,
Mhm.
you know, that kind of jumps out at me. So I'm gonna say recycling bins is a probable, I think it'd be probably a yes.
Yes, that's usually a yes. Whenever I have looked through and asked before. The only part is the after.
But you know, when we work together as a community, I can see getting to some modicum of success, right? So we do like Little Miss Merry Christmas, we do the parade, the Christmas parade, we do, the safe trick or treat type of things. I could see something, and this is again, a stretch, but maybe the city would ask to buy recycling bins. And when we do, specific events, we stage those recycling bins. Now, to be fair, they probably fill with trash. But you know, if they were clearly marked recycling, you know, we cross our fingers. Hopefully, you know, people throw recyclable materials in those
Mhm.
to where it helps reduce trash. Because to be fair, I mean, we haven't had a very good litter trash plan for the events that I've seen outside,
Mhm.
you know.
That's
So,
true.
so I think that, yeah, when we identify kind of a problem and a question like you just asked, I don't think that we should stop right away when we get kind of a fuzzy no. I think we should look at it and go, can we make that particular thing work legally, morally, and ethically? And then, you know, can we bear the burden of making it work? I.e., can I store the recycle bins? Can I get someone to put them out? Can I recover them? Will they be there in the morning after I put them out? You know, and those kind of things. But all of these things I think are worth exploring. And in the sake of getting better than we are now, we're not bad. Mr. Minton is not saying we're bad, getting better than we are now. we have to explore all these options and sometimes even experiment with them and make them work, okay? So I like the idea, keep it going, not necessarily keep it going right now, I'm not shutting you down. But the idea from a town hall is, especially an initial one is to get the information, understand what the grant is about or the topic. Process it, understand it, discuss it, go home, think about it, then come back and provide some feedback and go, you know what, I thought about this. Let's build a school with that money.
Mhm.
Just kidding, we're not gonna go to school with the money, but let's do what we can, because I thought about it and I saw it somewhere else.
I mean, a model school with a recycled something.
Yeah, there you go, okay, something like that.
Build
Yeah.
some more with a recyclable material.
There we go.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're gonna do with it. But,
Yeah, but there's quite a few things under there. Under end littering, it's it measures to prevent litter, so prevention, provide waste disposal access, maybe that's the recycling boxes, and remove or recover litter. Under reducing waste, it's promote reuse, repair, repurpose. That's some of the bicycles, things like that. Under reduce waste, it's improve composting and recycling. Under beautify communities, it's enhance green spaces and sustainable landscaping and prevent and remove graffiti. Under empower youth, which is one of the goals, it's educate students, offer youth services and leadership opportunities, and employ youth interns ages 14 to 25. Those are paid, by the way.
Mhm.
So, and it looks to me like that says they would provide some money, I think,
They would.
for internships for folks in those age ranges. And then the last goal is increase program capacity, which is recruit volunteers, build coalitions, and provide professional development. And under build coalition, I'm not making any promises. I'm not making sure. I'm not saying that I'm reading this correctly, but I'm going to reach out now after going through this a couple of times. But one, I don't see anybody from county here, but I'm gonna reach out to the county manager and ask if they have the same opportunities with the Clean and Beautiful grant that we do. And I don't know if they do or not. Do you? Okay. So ideally, maybe Ms. Forget and I can work with our folks and even collaborate on a project to do something like that, because we really want to collaborate more with the county and ENMU and anybody else like that who steps up to the plate. So keep those things in mind, if you would.
We also have other organizations like the health, help me out. Yes. And we do collaborate with you all, yes. And so that is a very positive. And it's a good experience. Now, whenever it comes to the youth interns, yes, it is a paid position and they do offer the funding for that. That requires reporting and accountability, and the youth to stick it out through the full fiscal year and to do all the tasks. So it's detailed and outlined.
You know when the last time they did that was?
I don't know that we ever have done that.
On the internship or the paid position?
Yeah, so they did it, but I'm thinking like 20 years ago, I remember they had it.
Oh, then yeah, I would not
They were
know.
hiring like basically a 25-year-old and be charging a team of 17, 18-year-olds, whatever and they would go around doing cleanup basically,
Mhm.
but I don't, like I said, it's been a long time. I'm just curious if it's happened since then.
Not that I know of. One of the things that I know that we've done in the past, before I was here, was yard contests for the nicest yard. We have done stuff like that. And I'd have to look into that and see how they did that. And the alleyway cleanups.
Was Tosno Moss, because I remember that program as a kid, was Tosno Moss city run or was it ours?
I do not know what that one was. Was it city? Okay, thank you.
I don't think they've done that in a while.
Chris?
Statewide program.
The deputy clerk ran it, Vita. She used to run it, but she retired. It got stopped, because she retired right around COVID.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cause they did like prizes for how many trash bags, or how many. Like, how many trash bags, right, from around city, so.
And if that were the case, then the city would have to provide the prize,
Mhm.
not Clean and Beautiful.
Oh,
So it would just have to be worked out, that type of thing. And we have done barbecues after we've done alleyway cleanups and that type of thing. So,
speaking of probably bringing things back, do you think that we probably bring the trees back to the square?
larger, more mature trees, possibly. That possibly.
With better, water infrastructure, hopefully?
We can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the trees were taken out because of the opinion and stuff.
Well, that maybe the reason,
Yes.
I've heard rumors, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, Joe, with this meeting, what you need feedback from us by a certain date so that you can work on the grant for the next fiscal year.
Thank you. Okay, so the grant's gonna open in March. So our next meeting, town hall meeting, where we're going to ask for more full ideas as to what everybody is hoping for, wanting to do, that type of thing. That will be probably towards the end of February. So that way we are ready in March to start writing the grant. And we can bring it to full fruition and hand it in before April.
And if someone has an idea, if they're not sure qualifies, can they contact you just to kind of push
Absolutely.
out?
Yes. Yes. My email is available, I believe. I don't have it up on the screen anywhere. But you can definitely email me and I will get out to you. Anything else? All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it very much. And please come back to our next one, which will be announced with all the ideas. And I'll come in with ideas as well. We'll talk about it.
And for what it's worth, you guys